welcome to the BoshNRoll channel. If you want to support my daily Eternal Magic offerings while getting amazing perks like the BoshNRoll Discord community, have me play your deck on the channel, or listen sideboard guides before tournaments, check out the Patreon or YouTube membership program. This channel is possible because of these amazing sponsors. Check them out, all their links are in the video description. As always, thanks for being here. Let's go play some Magic.
Welcome back to the BoshNRoll channel. Today I'm playing Legacy, and at the request of Patreon subscriber Spunky, I am revisiting Sultai Beanstalk. This is the deck that I played at Eternal Weekend in 2023. This is also the deck that I won the MagicCon Chicago Legacy Cup with. It's a deck that I was a big fan of for a long time, and it's a deck that just could not keep up with Grief. But Grief is gone, so are we back? First off, I'm going to shout out Pokemoki, the Magic Online grinder and YouTube content creator who pioneered Bug Beans a year ago and is still on the cutting edge now. This 75 came directly from him and his work on the archetype. I did play Bug Beans in my What If We Banned Grief playoff over a month ago, before Grief was banned. Myself and Andreas Peterson played some decks that we thought would be good in the post-Grief metagame. And in that video, I did the obvious thing, which is just ram 4 Psychic Frogs into Bug Beans, and that turned out to not be very good. Bug Beans just doesn't leverage Frog very well in terms of we barely have anything to distract removal from the Frog. Like, there are 2 Tamios in this deck, but we're not like 4 Tamio, 4 Nethergoyf, bunch of Bowmasters, kill something to clear the way for Frog, like draw out a removal spell. We're not very good at that. We're not very good at hyper-efficient removal, leveraging multiple hits with the Frog, although we do have Push, Wasteland, and Daze, so you can get some games like that, but we're not hyper-leveraged for it the way that the Dimir and Grixis lists are. We also aren't that excited to jump Frog early and often to just keep cards flowing. Most decks can afford to just exile 3 cards, whatever, they're gone, it's fine. But this deck, in order to leverage the Beanstalks, the primary mechanic we're using to do that is Delve, which needs cards in your graveyard to delve away. And at some point, there's a critical mass where exiling 3, even just lands you don't need, or Nile Spell Bombs that you can't recycle or whatever, that will make it so you can't cast Murktide and Murderous Cut on the same turn eventually, which, once you have 2 beans in play and you're churning through your deck, starts to become a pretty normal play pattern. So we're down to 2 Frogs here, because we still respect the card is good, but we're not building a plan around it. And also, further hurting the fueling Delve, Witherbloom Command is not in the position it was a year ago. At Eternal Weekend last year, Witherbloom Command, basically every time you cast it, would like kill a Beanstalk and a Bowmaster, or kill a Beanstalk and get back a Wasteland, and then knock 4-color beans out of, or 5-color beans completely out of the game. Kill their engine, knock out their white source. Even against the initiative, they kill their Chrome Mox, pick up Wasteland was a big thing to be doing. And the self-mill of playing multiple Witherbloom commands in your deck kept the Murktide Regents and Murderous Cuts happy. We're down to 1 of those because it just doesn't line up. It doesn't kill Psychic Frog specifically, which is the thing it most needs to kill right now, and it just doesn't. Still 1 because there are those other matchups. Painter's still in the metagame. Death and Taxes having a bit of a resurgence right now. It's good there, but it doesn't line up against the top 3 decks the way it did a year ago. And no room for Sauron's Ransom right now. Sauron's Ransom was part of the deck a year ago. You play it, then you Mystic Sanctuary it back, then you daze your Mystic Sanctuary up, then you replay Sauron's Ransom, you ransom 3 or 4 times in a game, your graveyard stays full, you're fully committed to the ring at that point. This is a much more kind of honest card draw thing than a turbo graveyard fuel thing. And Pokemoki has found a good balance here. The deck still does the thing that I like the most about the deck, which is just have smatterings of this and that, so you can't build a whole plan around anything. Tamio is different than Psychic Frog, which is different than Baleful Strix, which is different than Murktide Regent, 1 Bowmaster, 1 Children's Edict, 1 Spell Pierce, 3 Days. How can you plan around all these things? Like, if you play around the Daze, you run into the Spell Pierce. If you ignore both, you get dazed. If you wait too long to play around Spell Pierce, now I have a bean under me and Force is ready to go. I really like the smorgasbord of decisions and things that your opponent has to think about when they play against Bug Beans. Lots of basic lands in this list. There's 2 in the main and another one in the board. That's both because Painter with Magus of the Moon and Red Stompy are nightmares for the deck. Blood Moon was a huge problem a year ago. And now we're playing our own because Eldrazi is out there and we need to beat them somehow. And that's where this deck is. Let's go see how this league goes. And I hope this deck's good because I really like it, but we will see. Let's do it. This is Spunky's Bug Beans. I'm on the play in round 1. I have Force Blue card, Beanstalk, Ponder. We keep these. Opponent says hi, YouTube. Everyone say hi to Marcelo Ska. I love Ska. Pick it up, pick it up, pick it up. I'm going to Ponder off of Tropical Island here. I think that getting the Beanstalk under me is a better starting move than shoving Tameo with no follow-up land drop. No land here sucks. Gonna have to shuffle. And found Psychic Frog. Okay. Getting a little worried. Basic Mountain. Okay. Yikes. Well, I do have a play still. If this is Painter, good chance this thing is going to die. If they are Red Prison, I'm going to be super unhappy that my Beanstalk's not in play with this double force situation. This is like exactly how you want the game to go, except you want one of these 2 cards to be the land to cast the Beanstalk. Then you force draw a card, and you're way ahead. Danger Zone. With 19 lands in the deck, I don't feel bad keeping 1-landers with Ponder. Cavern of Souls. We're playing against Joblins. Warren Instigator, let's go. Oh my god. Please draw a Black Source deck. If I could kill this thing with Witherbloom Command. Oh my goodness. Oh, sweet relief. Showed up a little late, but it is right on time. Target player mills 3, target creature gets -3/-1. I said a lot of words at the start of the deck tech about how this card doesn't really line up against the top of the format right now, but it still lines up extremely well against the random shenanigans in the format. I could have even Bowmastered that, but I feel like Bowmaster will still find a target later. The blockers are relevant, and I just missed a land drop, so I would like to have that. Blood Moon, okay. Do I want to yeet the frog or slam the frog versus this deck? I'm definitely forcing this, just deciding, holding back a Force of Will, getting Psychic Frog into the zone. I think I want Psychic Frog in the zone, actually. Now I have access to a basic. This deck's really interesting, though. The Blood Moon and the Warren Instigator together, what are they doing? Why are these cards together in a deck? I'm not saying my opponent built their deck wrong or anything. I'm just trying to deduce what this is. The Sundering Eruption feels like it would be part of a Chrome Mox Stompy deck. There we go. Your secret's revealed. You can't hide these things from me. But what is Warren Instigator doing in a red Stompy deck? Did we hybridize it with Muxus? Or there's some like pump spell that kills me here? Moria Marauder, let's go. Red double strike. Whenever a goblin or orc you control deals combat damage to a player, exile the top card of your library. You may play that turn. That's cool. Okay. Opponent's got some sick cards in their deck, including this Boom Zoom Boomby Doom, so they just put in their hand. That will be uncounterable unless I come up with one of my 3 wastelands this turn. Murktide Regent, pretty good here. Volcanic Fissure from hand, 3 cards, one of them is Broadsides. Now I have an option of fetching Hedge Maze and hoping they don't moon me again, or leaving up Basic Island, but I can't answer Blood Moon in the main deck with a Basic Island anyway, so I'm just going to get Hedge Maze. We are in with what we got. Nihil Spellbomb, not for this matchup. Oh my god. Alright, another one. And are they going to block my Psychic Frog? I don't think they are. I'm just going to attack and not jump this thing. I'm happy to discard Nihil Spellbomb to get a trade, and I'm happy to just draw a card if they don't do that. New Tameo. Now I can Beanstalk. You're playing Beanstalk, flips Tameo. Plus Tameo makes Goblin Ringleader smaller. And I have Orcish Bowmaster that can interact with stuff. Yeah, if they play Broadside, wow, they didn't make it uncounterable. That was a hero play. And I'm scared now. What's the other goblin in their hand? Pitched an Instigator. Second broadside, okay. This represents quite a bit of damage. Tamiyo absorbing 3 damage here is nice. If they spend any effort attacking Tamiyo, they can't even actually kill Tamiyo without sacrificing permanents. Yeah, okay, shrink him. And I'm gonna play Orcish Bowmaster and make this more complicated for them. They're hellbent over there. These are all the cards they're going to get to play with. And now if they don't want to lose one of these broadsides, they have to fling before blocks. They did not fling before blocks. They could fling both Chromoxes to kill both orcs, but then Tamiyo survives. They could just fling this blocked Bowmaster to Psychic Frog, which will unfortunately die because they don't have enough cards to discard. I don't know, this is pretty interesting. It's really like what their game plan is to actually win here. But they flung the Ringleader. Yeah, okay. That keeps Tamiyo extra alive. And they flung the blocked broadside at Tamiyo. Alright, so they dealt 0 damage to me, and I kept my Bowmaster. Tamiyo just traded for 2/3 of their permanents. That's pretty sick. Can I draw any of the 100 removal spells this deck plays? Is it possible? I'm gonna crack a clue. A Beanstalk. I'm gonna Bean. Let's get the engine under me. Underground Sea can play Tamiyo. And I'm just gonna leave back my creatures for blocking purposes. And hope to fade Muxus off the top or some nonsense. Goblin Lackey. Okay, that's fine. They're just attacking with broadside. Imagine the Lackey will be thrown somewhere. I'm gonna double block and make them playing at one of these if they want to keep their broadside, which is the most important permanent on the board right now. A Murktide Regent, a Murderous Cut. These are the dreams that I dream of right now. They flung Lackey at Bowmaster. Ponder. Is there any reason to ponder before combat? I don't think so. I'm just going to attack with Tamiyo, because that's happening regardless. I could also Lauren Revealed and just draw 5 right now. That sounds pretty nice. Who needs Ponder when we're doing this? Fatal Push, Wasteland, Tamiyo flips. And we found the fetch land. Let's go. Polluted Delta. There is a basic swamp in the deck, at the very least. 7 cards in hand, pass the turn. Now we're in the bean game. A fetch for basic swamp. Push your jerk. I want to push you around, so I will. So I will. Drew a Force of Will, can Wasteland Cavern of Souls. This is where the game goes off the rails for anyone trying to beat Bug Beans. I'd like to come up with a threat here, if I can. So I'll just put Sheoldred's Edict in my hand, and the decision whether or not to play Beanstalk here is actually interesting, because at some point you do have to slightly be concerned about decking yourself. But I don't think we're there yet. And I'm going to pass. If I didn't have a worthless blue card, I would not have played out the Bean. I would have left up Hardcast Force, but this Daze is not going to get any cards this game. Plus Tamiyo. She's threatening a pop soon. Gonna Brainstorm. Baleful Strix. Okay, let's go. We got a clock. We're on the board. Wasteland. I'm just gonna sandbag that until maybe they play another Cavern of Souls. All 3 Murktides in the bottom third of my deck is a little awkward right now. Ancient Tomb has appeared. I don't think I'm going to Ultimate Tamiyo this game. I might just start recurring Witherbloom Command, working these Chrome Moxes out of the game. Wow, look at this. I said Daze was dead, but long live Daze. Boom. The tap out Shatterskull smashing. Adios, amigo. Drawing with a clue. Okay, I can go full mana denial sicko here. I am going to do that. I'm going to get back Witherbloom Command. I get to make a green mana because it is a green card. Green, black, Witherbloom. Destroy target thing. Target player mills 3. I already have a Wasteland in my graveyard, so I'm going to target them with the mill. And their Chrome Mox with the destroy. Pick up a Wasteland. Waste you. Waste you. I'm about to go to discard, so I'll run out the Nile Spellbomb. That can turn on Revolt, if nothing else. And I can do the same play next turn. And they will be playing the game on a single basic mountain. Tapped it out. Cool. All right, that was fun. We're playing against a stompy build of goblins. Barragoyf, Dismember, Island all makes sense to me. Hydroblast, clearly. Bowmaster, Pernicious Deed. Definitely Pernicious Deed. I don't think I'm Harbinging. I don't think I'm forcing a Vigor. Isle Spellbomb's out. Bowmaster's a maybe. I mean, I guess we saw a bunch of like shit like Lackey and Warren Instigator. Bowmaster's not a maybe. It's in. I'm suspicious of Daze. They're a big mana deck, and they're on the play. Spell Pierce does hit actual Blood Moon, but now I have Hydroblast in that can do that. I could see Sheoldred's Edict being mid. I could cut Wasteland and just make it Island, just pivot one land to a different land. But the mana denial does come up in these stompy matchups. I don't think it's right to cut that. Push seems great. Ponder, Brainstorm, all great. Tameo, great. Witherbloom Command, MVP. It heard me talking smack in the deck and just had to show up and remind me what a goat it is. I could cut Mystic Sanctuary for Island, which improves the stability of my islands, both if I draw one of these or if they have Blood Moon. It's a big upgrade, but being able to pick up the Murderous Cut the second time if they don't have that, I think I am. I could also shave a Beanstalk. The matchup is pretty fast. Okay, yeah, I am going to shave a Beanstalk. Like, that game, I wasn't sure if I wanted to cast the third one, and I definitely couldn't afford to cast the fourth. Do I want Witherbloom Command in? Have I talked myself into the sideboard one? Uh-oh. Second Beanstalk out? All right, let's try it. Let's try it. I forgot that was there. So impressed. Let's go. Okay, Fatal Push. A card not seen until turn 35 in the last game, but I'm in here. I have access to my basic island even if they turn one a Blood Moon. And now I've found basic island. I can fetch basic swamp. I'm going to pass here. I would prefer not to have to get the swamp. Warrior Marauder, let's go. What a cool card. Okay, decision time. I think I'm going to get Bayou, because I want to push this creature and then cast Beanstalk. Wasteland doesn't work yet. I'm going to run out Underground Sea. If they think that Blood Moon is good here, that could benefit me. Just sandbagging the double island in my hand. And Blood Moon is annoying here, don't get me wrong. I don't want them to Blood Moon, but I think I'm okay if they do. Fable and Mirror Breaker. That's a sick one. Okay. Go to my turn. Orcish Bowmaster. That's a decent response to Fable and Mirror Breaker. I'm going to Wasteland them and then Bowmaster in their upkeep. And the sequence here is you play the Bowmaster on their turn and you ping the Goblin. That way, they can't draw any cards off Fable without losing the Goblin, and they can't attack and get a treasure without losing the Goblin. It has a damage on it, and either a block or a single loot will finish it off. And they just decline to do anything with that. Seems they need the treasure. I'm going to block with my Orc Army. And we got that trade. What is the follow-up over there? Blood Moon? Okay. I won't say we were ready for that, but we're not, like, devastated by it. Ponder off basic right away. Force of Will to my hand. I like that. That covers their follow-up. Draws Sheoldred's Edict, which I can't cast, but it's okay. I can dismember the Fable. Chrome Mox. It's tempting to force that, but I'm not gonna. Maybe if they had one other card, or 2 cards left in hand instead of 4, I might attack that. Pitching Muxus, we were correct to read that's in the deck. Not that it's rocket science to figure that out. Okay, if I force this, it is gone, and I'm drawing a removal spell. Yeah, this card is good enough that I do need to keep it off the board. I don't need to deal with Fable immediately. Like, that is something I can do with Dismember. Like, if they cast something I don't want them to copy, I can hit the thing they're going to copy in response to the ability, or I can... That's a good card. I'm going to see what they tutor here. Just drawing Hydroblast. I think the game is over. If we draw Swamp, we have some more options for a while. Warrior Marauder. Got another one. I don't think I can afford to have them copying that thing, so I'm going to wipe out the Fable right now. And I'm drawing a new card here. Hey, there's that one. Hydroblast your Blood Moon. Destroy target permanent if it's red. That one qualifies. And I guess I just stick the deed now. Red is not known for their ability to destroy enchantments. And now I have access to Basic Swamp, or I could just get Hedge Maze if they don't remoon me. I will just block Matron. We got Rude in the chat, yeah. I mean, Pernicious Deed is a fucko. For sure. And Chrome Mox is 1/3 of their mana right now. Oh no. Bad news for the opponent here. Well, I'm gonna let that happen. There's Moria Marauder, Ringleader, and they got a Matron and an Instigator, and sent Blood Moon and one of their MDFC lands to the bottom. Okay, Matron dies cheaper. I might as well. I'm actually just gonna Hedge Maze first, see what my draw is gonna be, and make decisions based on that. It'll push is really good. I will leave that on top, and then block the Ringleader. That just saves the damage on the play that I'm gonna make anyway. Okay, I'm gonna go to their turn and deed in their upkeep. This does kill my Beanstalk, unfortunately, but I gotta kill these Chrome Moxes before they make more mana. Beanstalk was fine. It drew 2 cards this game. Or an Instigator. Let's push it out. Now I need to do something. This would be a great time to draw Psychic Frog or Murktide Regent. Red, Moria Marauder, let's go. I did board out the Mystic Sanctuary at the last second there. That's not, or no, I didn't. Did I not? Did I keep it? Look at this. Okay. So I do have access to, there's no Lorien revealed in the graveyard, unfortunately. I could just ponder. Yeah, I'll do that. Mystic Sanctuary, get my ponder back. They should recognize that I didn't get a removal spell here. I must not be worried about removal. Ponder, Brainstorm. Okay, I'll put the ponder in my hand, edict them, and then pass. Because I don't want to ponder and just look at the same 2 cards again. Goblin Matron, they did find the mountain. Matron can find something like Bombardiers or whatever. And it could find anything, but just thinking about cards that would be good on this board. Bombardiers confirmed. They went from no board to representing 8 damage next turn. Ponder. Murderous Cut. I like you quite a lot. I liked you more when I had a Beanstalk in play. If I Brainstorm right now, it's just going to see Brainstorm and Fetch Land, and my hand doesn't really improve that much. So if the 3rd card down is Murktide Regent, Lorien Revealed's a good one to Lorien Reveal. Okay, I'm going to put back Misty and Brainstorm, and I'll pass. My plan is to cut the Bombardier and then untap, play Lorien, hopefully take over. Found a Cavern. Glad I didn't revive Force of Will the other turn when the board was empty. Oh, Ringleader, look at you. They're getting back in. Runveld Horde Master is the only card they picked up off of that. Okay, I'm going to take the damage. I'm more worried about Broadside than anything else. Fire Lorien Revealed. Beanstalk, okay. Unfortunately, that's not going to come down before the Murderous Cut unless they play super slow here for some reason. If they lead on Horde Master, that's actually kind of spooky because I don't really want this card in play buffing their squad. But if they juke it and go land Broadside, that's bad too. All right, well, this is bad also. Wow, hit 0 cards, just a 2/2. Though I am going to be at 3. Is there a black source left in my deck? I feel like there's not. There's Bayou, Swamp, 2 Seas. Bayou, Swamp. Or I don't have the Swamp, but I can't fetch it. Okay. So there's not a black source left in my deck for me to Brainstorm here and see what happens. Okay, I guess I have to cut one of these now. Okay. I go to 5. And let's let this handful of card draw figure out what my plan is. Beanstalk first. Wasteland. Not the worst thing I've ever seen. Bowmaster and Psychic Frog. I can cast them both. If I put back these 2 things, do these cards help me is the question. I'm literally dead to Broadside Bombardier attacking and flinging ringleader at me, so no, these things do not help me. I got to do more this turn. Fetch for Trop, Brainstorm. Okay, now I can force, and all right. I think we figured it out. If I Wasteland Barrowgoyf, hold up Force, I think I'm stable. Okay, put back Bowmaster Frog, Wasteland your Cavern, Jam Big Barrowgoyf. The largest and in chargest creature we've had in a long time. If they have Cavern, I lose. If they don't have Cavern, I feel good. 6/7. This deck has artifacts and enchantments in it. That's so sick. And they're going for the win. I have the answer. And then I'm going to have Psychic Frog plus Bowmaster in my hand next turn. Going to mash for 6 here, which might even find a Murktide region if they don't jump block. I'm actually going to Bowmaster pre-combat, take out the Matron, and remove the easy jump block. I want them to have no permanence if they block this, and if not, I get to mill 6 and pick up a Murktide. Down to Tamiyo. All right. I'll settle for Tamiyo. Tamiyo, Psychic Frog, all in. Here they are. Here's the squad. I'm at 9. Nothing to discard a frog, just a frog. I can't mill Barrowgoyf many more times. I have 18 cards in my deck. I might be able to do it one more time if I feel like I need the pressure, but I'm not sure that I feel that is true. Fury on the Evoke. Okay, this can kill some stuff. Pitched Warren Instigator. Can't clear Barrowgoyf. Can't clear enough creatures to block uncontested. Yeah, can mush a bunch of stuff out of the board. I briefly considered holding back Tamiyo to decide if I just want a bigger frog, but I don't. A 0/3 on this board is also just fine. If they play Horde Master attacking me for 3, I just go to 6, and it's whatever. Okay, sure. Or they can kill every permanent that's not Barrowgoyf. But I'm still in the barrow. I have bees in the barrow. I go to 6. Oh, no attack. All right. In the barrow we go. They must be planning to block and start trying to flip goblins and make something happen, because that attack was right there. Lifelink is such a great mechanic. And they are blocking, just getting some Runvelt flips. Flipped Warren Instigator. They got there. I'm going to keep frogging. That's the other one. I played 2 of them. Here they are. They have an Instigator they can cast this turn from exile and 1 unknown card in hand. Instigator's an interesting game object. Oh, wow. All right. They drew Pyroblast. So Instigator could make a top deck Matron or Muxus game. I'm going to attack with Barrowgoyf. And I will take the mill if they don't block. Okay, here we go. Moment of truth. They flip Sundering Eruption. And I'm just going to hope they don't draw Matron or Muxus here. I will not be held afraid in my chair by the top of the deck from a red deck. Okay, what'd you get? Looks like nothing. Yeah, okay, just didn't put in anything. But they don't want to lose that creature. That's fair. Ponder. Let's go. Murktide Regent. Almost forgot this was in my deck. I'm going to attack with Barrowgoyf, decline the trigger, then play Murktide, which is going to draw Pyroblast off the Beanstalk. And then I don't know how we lose. I don't want to make my Goyf smaller. My opponent has lands in their graveyard and lots of creatures. There's lots of instants. I don't need Murktide to be huge. It just needs to be 4/4 to remain lethal. Probably should have made it 5/5 to respect Fury, but I'm holding the Hydroblast, so not really worried about that. We got the GGs, and GGs they were. Very cool deck. Very cool variation of Goblin / Stompy here. The hybrid list. On to the next round.
This video is sponsored by Moxfield.com, the easiest way to build Magic decks online. Moxfield supports over 30 formats, including Legacy and everything else you'll see on this channel. There's multiple customizations so you can interact with your deck how you want. Views such as text, grid, or stacks, and groupings like type, subtype, color, color identity, even artist. The site offers light mode, dark mode, and so much more. However you want to see your deck, Moxfield can provide it for you. Follow my Moxfield to keep up with the channel and what I'm playing in paper. I'll see you there.
I'm on the play in round number 2. I'm going to keep my hand. This has a turn 2 Beanstalk or Frog with Force backup. My plan is to play Underground Sea and leave up Lorien Revealed to make this happen best. Oh, and it also says hi, YouTube. Everyone say hi to Dusty Earl. Blooded Strand is not Wasteland. Plains. Okay. Nomads Encore. All right. That's in. Could be Nadu, could be Breakfast. If it's Breakfast, there's some conversation about just playing out the Nile Spell Bomb. If it's Nadu, I would rather get the Beanstalk in, though. Okay. We'll see. Misty Rainforest, fetch. Yeah, and I don't think they'd shove like this if they didn't have follow-up. I'm going to force pitching Murktide Regent. Hopefully draw another Force or Daze here off of my Force. Force me back. Moment of Truth. Force or Daze. Shit. Okay, I mean, so the flip side of if it's Nadu, it's better to have Beanstalk in, is if it's Breakfast, it's better to not be dead. I think I messed this up, and this isn't just results-oriented, like, hindsight. I think it's actually correct to play Nile Spellbomb and leave that up. I just want to see their deck. There is Nadu in it. Force pitch to Ponder. Now my only hope is they pump the brakes somehow. Like if they're holding the Oracle, or they don't want to overcommit on the Dread Return, or maybe the Dread Return's in their hand. But they do seem to be just shredding here. All 3 Narcomoebas accounted for. I see at least 3 Nadus, 1 Teferi so far, 2 Teferis. There's Dread Return. There's Thassa's Oracle. 1 card left in their deck, and I don't think we've flipped Cabal Therapy yet. But they clearly aren't worried about it. They've gone this far, they're not going to stop now. Yeah, 4 Nadus, 2 Teferis. I don't see Aether Vial or the Lighted Halfling, so it does seem like primarily Breakfast with Nadu on the splash. Memory's Journey is in here. Okay. I messed that game up, and it's not in hindsight. I messed that game up in the moment, and now I am cognizant of how. Consign is good against Thassa's Oracle. Bowmaster good against deck full of X1s, and that may or may not need cantrips to rebuild. Dismember. Carpet might be okay. Veil might be okay. Don't need Basic Island. Deed might be okay. I don't think I need all the Murktides. The Fatal Pushes and Spellbobs are great if I use them. Beanstalk could be a little slow to have too many in there. Their deck's not really about spells, but I did call out the Teferi specifically. Daze is tricky. I'm bringing in a bunch of other stuff that interacts, but the Daze is powerful against the Teferi specifically, which is something I'm worried about. Witherbloom Command could kill a Shuko that's just laying around, and pick up a Wasteland versus the Urza Sagas. But Pernicious Deed does all that. I don't think I need Veil. That doesn't help me versus Teferi. Leaving in all my forces and my Spell Pierce. On the play, Daze might be good enough. Just deciding if there's a better cut. Maybe I don't need Basic Swamp in the deck. I am bringing in Carpet, which represents mana. That could get me a Daze back. Do I want 1 Daze? Okay, I will try this. I'll keep this hand. I'm going to lead on Misty Rainforest. My plan is to get Hedge Maze here, unless there's an emergency. Tropical Island, Ponder. You got it. They did shuffle the library. Exciting. Hedge Maze. Fatal Push. I like that. Underground Sea, Beanstalk. Just invest in success here. It was not successful last game, but it did give me outs. I think I was drawing to 6 outs on that Beanstalk trigger. Another Ponder. Did not shuffle this time. Land Tundra. Nomads. I have Bowmaster to just light that up. Okay, I'm going to start with Bowmaster and just play it. I still have Fatal Push to back this up if I need it. Or their thing can just die. Cool. Fatal Push, Force of Will. This is what I was trying to do last game, where they sent it a little too fast for me. But these are the setups you're looking for. If this is Prismatic Ending, I'm not going to fight over it on Bowmaster. I might fight over it on Beanstalk. Okay. Bowmaster's gone. And there's no reason to fetch here. Don't know anything yet. Ponder. Another Beanstalk and an Edict. I'd have to shuffle to play this, so the Edict's not real. I'll take the Beanstalk. Fetch has to get Bayou. Oh no, there's Trop, because I got Hedge Maze first. Okay, that's good. Trop. Beanstalk. That gives me islands to set up. buying back Ponder from my graveyard, which I'm not even entirely convinced is good, but it's happened. Tapping out a black there a little risky. Maybe I'm just tapping around and finding out for the second game in a row in the same match. If I untap, though, I will feel incredible. Brainstorm. That means I can't lose this turn. It's a 3-mana combo. And unless they play... I guess I did see a Lotus Petal in the graveyard game 1. I think I saw that. I did not bother to screenshot it. But they'd have to go land Petal AB here, and then they'd have exactly 2 cards left in hand, which could be Force Blue card. Or they can end up Brainstorm locked without a land drop. Not that I'm rooting for my opponent to have a bad time, but that is really good for me. Okay. Nile Spellbomb, put this in the bank. Attack for 1. Now they have to beat Force of Will, Removal Spell, and Graveyard Hate. And the top of my deck is a second black source, which gives me double Removal Spell moving forward. They got a Brainstorm in the end step. Looking at 9 cards right now. Makes sense why they fought over the Bowmaster early, because their hand has done nothing but cantrip since then. I still feel better having Force of Will remaining in my hand than I do whatever would have happened if I had forced the Bowmaster and then I just have like a big creature. And they missed again. Just made no plays. Still Brainstorm locked. And now it's just, how do I inflict 20 damage before they find their way out of this? Cephalid Illusionist. I'm going to let this resolve, because Murderous Cutting this draws me a bunch of cards and rules. They fetch for the Bayou. Murderous Cut. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Leave 1 mana up just in case. They might have Daze. I looked at their whole deck last game. Did they have Daze? We milled Dread Return, Memory's Journey, Nadu. Just pretty high impact mill there, but it doesn't matter because I have Nile Spellbomb in play. And waste you off of white. I'm more worried about removal and nomads than I am about Nadu when they're stuck on 1 mana forever. Targeting the Illusionist did clear the Brainstorm cards, so they got me good. Brainstorm's fine. Leaving up green is interesting. Do they have Veil of Summer? Because they could have just Brainstormed without making a land drop. But I did... Have they seen Daze yet? I don't think so. They make my land drop and attack. You have to be okay playing games like this if you register Bug Beans. I'm not just going to fire off this Brainstorm looking for Murktide because I'm impatient about getting the game over. I can literally interact with my opponent 4 times while drawing 5 cards at any point where it becomes necessary, and using up any of those resources to just try to get the game won faster. It's kind of a spew. That just opens up windows where you could end up losing. Found a Ponder. I will cast that one. Does Carpet do anything? And it makes 2 mana, but mostly no. Another Ponder, another Force. Yeah, I'll tuck this extra Force in my hand. This lets me cast 1 hard cast and pitch cast another one. I don't think any of that's going to be better than using my removal spells. I guess if they just shove Teferi, that's something I have to consider. Just going to clean up again, dumped it to Teferi. Cast this Ponder. Spell Pierce, fetch land. I'm going to take the fetch land, play it, and attack. Now if I force, it draws Spell Pierce, which can be another layer of interaction. I am going to fetch in the end step, though, if they don't do anything. Cephalid Illusionist resolves. I think I want to just Fatal Push this one. The Edict is the clunkiest removal spell, but it does kill Nadu without targeting it, and it can kill Teferi, which is why I'm holding on to it. They milled Flooded Strand, Ponder, and the third Illusionist. I will take the Spell Pierce now. But I don't need Carpet of Flowers. I will shuffle before my next draw. Edge Maze, still no white mana. But land number 3 does represent Nadu in the future. They've been to Nomad. My last fetchable. That's good to know. Big ol' Schmurktide. Attack for 1. I'm deciding how big I want this to be versus how many cards still in my graveyard. I'm just going to make it as big as I can. I have enough to cut with. It's fine. I'm likely to go to discard here as well. Good chance they force this. Okay, they force Pitching Force. I can hardcast Force on this. It draws me 2 more cards. Yeah, I guess they're just getting replaced anyway. I'm going to pitch this Spell Pierce. Or I'm going to pitch Brainstorm. I definitely don't need to draw more cards here. And if they Veil of Summer, I can Spell Pierce it. That is a card they kind of represented earlier. Okay. Force again. Gaming hard, drawing 6 cards. They had Teferi and 3 forces in their hand. Psychic Frog, Pernicious Deed, Lorien Revealed, Consigned to Memory. Okay. Interactions back up. Carpet of Flowers, Misty Rainforest, and Murktide resolves. I'm going to play the Carpet just because I'd end up going to discard anyway. I should have used Trop to play that. That just had me out of a black interaction. That was actually really bad. I'm going to discard the Misty. I'd be impressed if it matters, but that was a bad tap. Black's more important than blue right now. Access to white. If they threaded the needle here, they got it. Nadu does resolve. Yeah, they're fetching. I don't think I need to respond to the fetch. I'll respond to like the Nomad or whatever it is they're about to cast. Each opponent sacrifices a non-token creature. Holding the Edict this long rewarded. And we did it. Cool. Was never really worried about that game after turn 3. It just took 15 turns to actually win. Harbinger of the Seas is an interesting conversation. I didn't bring in my other basic, and I actually cut one that was already in my main deck. But their mana seems like kind of a mess. But I'm not sure that's how I actually beat them. And this does attack for 2. And Baleful Strix probably actually pretty bad for the matchup. If I bring in Harbinger, though, these lands have to come in with it, which is really complicated. I'm not just like bringing in one Harbinger for funsies. I guess Island doesn't matter, but Swamp does. Swamp has to come in. And Daze is worse on the draw, but Daze is still good if they send it early, and avoiding dying early is really what I'm trying to do here. What does this look like if I continue to explore it? I actually don't need basic Island, and I can have Swamp, because they're not attacking my mana. The only thing attacking my mana is my own Blood Moon. Carpet is insane with Harbinger. I can just keep casting green spells. Maybe I play 1 Harbinger and not 2. Maybe I play Harbinger over Tameo, but Tameo rebuying spells seems unbeatable here. Could cut the Fun of Days. Could cut a Lorien. I think I'm going to play with 1 Harbinger in the deck and not 2. It's just kind of a tool for the like turn 6, turn 7 game that we end up in last round. I will keep this hand and hope they play an Island. Basic Plains, we're dead. Alright, Nomads are in. Okay, I'd like a Daze, a Force, some piece of interaction. Didn't get there. I'm going to fetch for Tropical Island and play Nile Spellbomb and hope I didn't get turn 2 Goldfished again. Spellbomb's in. Misty Rainforest. I doubt they play a basic forest. If they do, they're not going to fetch it here. Which turns on Carpet. We've seen Prismatic Ending if they need to get out from under the Spellbomb. Did not shuffle Ponder. Did not attack with Nomad. Oh, sick. Just ripping a land is tease. Swamp, Carpet. Second main. Trigger. Make green. Play Beanstalk. If they have come up with exactly Prismatic Ending plus land plus Cephalid here, great work. But I have built out my engine, and starting next turn, I'm going to feel really good about everything. Teferi is good. Pernicious Deed still beats it, but yeah, that resolves. And plussing the Teferi. Okay. Counterspells are off. I get a bunch of mana here. How do I want to use it? I think I'm going to make black. Black, green, Pernicious Deed. Oof, they have the Force, pitching Brainstorm, and could definitely lose here. This means I have to ponder for a removal spell for Nomad. Underground Sea, ponder, looking for Fatal Push here. None of the above. Shuffle this. And found Tameo. Alright. If they have Nomad, we lose. Teferi identified as a problem, and it certainly has come to be true. Though my hand doesn't have removal in it anyway, or counter spells, which kind of the double whammy. And Nadu, and Deed's already gone. Ugh, how do I even get out of this? I think I'm fucked. Savannah. I guess I just have to somehow hope that the minimum 4 cards they flip here are or 8 cards. Minimum 8 cards they flip here are worse than everything I do. That seems unlikely. They flip 2 lands, neither of them islands. Good work. Ponder in hand. Shuko in hand, Shuko in play. And that Pernicious Deed would be so good. They were smarter than to force it. They did play another island, though. They cast the Ponder. And they get 4 flips, all protected by Teferi starting next turn. They could even Teferi minus on my Beanstalk and slow down my engine. Shuffle the library. Teferi stays plussing. Nadu's a 4/4. Okay. And I draw a Misty Rainforest. Unhelpful. Yes, make green. Cast up the Beanstalk. And they're just spamming activations in response. Flipped a island. Another land. An Illusionist. And Serenity. Okay, so I'm dead if I can't kill Nomad right now. Draw for turn. Or draw for this, whatever this is. Ooh, okay. That was the hit. It'll push the Nomad. Oh, there's also a Shuko in play, so I haven't actually solved the problem yet. Tameo. And land. I can't. I have to pop. Yeah, I actually have to pop here and draw another card because the Shuko kills me. Teferi just has me beat. 1 island short because I have basic swamp in play of Mystic Sanctuary, but then I would need double black for that line anyway, which I don't have. Okay, I guess I have to Nile Spellbomb and hope. This will also flip Tameo, not that it matters. You're another Spellbomb. That would have been useful before I played this one, or before I lost this one. Spellbomb plus Tameo. And I guess hope they miss the line. Pass. Yeah, Teferi with the squeeze. Nadu with the dig. Nadu dug into Shuko Illusionist. Nadu Breakfast rules. What a sick deck. And there's no essential pieces, just randomly in the graveyard here. Flip to Plow. Equipping Shuko. And I guess I have to hope they just, like, forget how to use Teferi. Nadu is putting Tameo to 1 loyalty. Bad news, they targeted my Spellbomb. This so doesn't matter. I'm going to pretend I have something like Fairy Macabre to rip to. Like, drawing a card here under Teferi is just so useless. They don't draw the card because the thing fizzles, but they don't need a card. If they just start comboing, I'll concede. They found the line. Okay, we're good. Yeah, just picked apart, couldn't quite do it all. We saw game 2 where it works, and I messed up game 1. So this game, we really did play a long game, and their various engines took over and got me. Game 1, I actually had it covered with the tech and just kind of YOLO'd it rather than thinking for 1 second. Like, as soon as I passed the turn, I was like, actually Spellbomb was better. And got punished for it. On to the next round.
The BoshNRoll channel is proudly partnered with the Resleevables.
Good. All right, here we go, gang.
In this YouTube series, hosts Cedric Phillips and Patrick Sullivan take us on a set-by-set journey through the good, the bad, and the ugly of Magic's history. Each episode is a focused deep dive into the facts about a set's design and release. The Magic lore expressed through the cards in that set. Tournament edition gameplay videos featuring products and Pro Tour decks of the era. An award show that shouts out the best and weirdest cards of the set. And a final grade for the set's overall success. Whether you want a history lesson or a nostalgia hit, The Resleevables has it at youtube.com/theresleevables.
I am on the play for round 3. I do have mana to set up a Beanstalk here. I will keep this hand. Luring Revealed, tying everything together as it does. Give you a small look behind the Hollywood curtain here. I have just recorded for 2 hours with a completely different creator talking about a different game. I did one of those crossovers with KM Best where it's like Magic the Gathering Pro rates Marvel Snap cards. And I just did that between round 2 and 3, and it took a long time, and I'm pretty tired, but let's make it happen. Also, check out that video. It should be out around the time this video is, if not way before it. So that should be available to you. Check out my socials if you want to watch it. Opponent's on a Multa 6. Showing him the Wasteland. Misty Rainforest. It's not the Ancient Tomb I'm always hoping for off a Multa 6. Please don't stifle me. I am not prepared to play that game. Okay, the Tropical Island. We're getting that. And shove the old Beanstalk Arena. We're in. Now we're playing. The cool thing is I drew this Pluto Delta, so if they read the Wasteland Lorien as my opponent up to one lander, which was true at the time, I'm now out of it. Okay, is this Storm? Is the Epic Storm? I think Felgrim is... Oh, this might be someone I actually know personally, and I'm embarrassed I didn't notice it sooner. This is definitely the Epic Storm. They milled over a Lion's Eye Diamond, Misty Rainforest for a commercial district. Only one person's doing that in the entire world, and it's Bryant Cook and his friends. Which is more than one person, which means only one person. Well, I have to force this or else nothing is ever happening. I could pitch Baleful Strix. And they just had a double Veil draw. Good job, you did it. You got me good. Yep, sometimes your opponent has 2 Veils in the 10 cards they've looked at. And then you lose. You beseech the mirror. I believe Gaia's will is enough to get it done here. Beseech for Tendrils, also enough to get it done. Cool. Alright, they only needed the 1 Veil because I didn't cantrip a second counterspell off of the Bean anyway. A Veil of Summer comes in, Witherbloom Command, Pernicious Deed, Consigned to Memory, a complete sicko. Hydroblast is a maybe. It hits Burning Wish and nothing else. I don't think I'm interested in Force of Vigor. The Pernicious Deed kills all the dragons that come out of Elemental Eruption, the new Storm card that they're playing over Empty the Warrens. Also kills everything that comes out of an Empty the Warrens. Nihil Spellbomb is not irrelevant. Baleful Strix is extremely irrelevant. Murderous Cut, all these Fatal Pushes. Shieldred's Edict. Got a lot of cards that can afford to come out. It looks like I'm bringing in the Hydroblast, just out of raw requirement of cards to bring in. Bowmaster plays here. Do I want to try to moon them? Their mana's pretty bad, but they do have a bunch of artifacts. I don't think I'm going to try to moon them. Just doing a final sweep of if there's any very obvious cards that need to be out of my deck. I could cut one of the Beanstalks or some number of days if I think Harbinging is actually worth doing. I'm not convinced either of those things are true. I'm going to hit submit here. Okay, I will keep my hand. And I am going to play Tamiyo off of Tropical Island. If they turn 1 me, they deserve it through Force of Will. But you don't want to let the Epic Storm just sculpt against a control deck, because they will figure out how to beat you. I believe they are generally heavily favored versus control decks that just want to sit and wait behind counterspells. They have Misty Rainforest pass. We dodged. Tamiyo get in there. Big beats. And now the question of, do I tap out for Beanstalk? I think with the Clue token up, I'm not going to tap out for Beanstalk. Also, with, like, if they just fetch some tap land here, I could light it up. I don't think I want to do that, though. But I have Lorien revealed. Yeah, maybe I am just going to waste you. Bang, got him. Hope that's important. Yeah, Lorien revealed gives me the freedom to wiggle around with that. But they clearly saw the Wasteland and made the decision to fetch into it. But that could be a level system of, I show you the Wasteland so you don't fetch, but I fetch because I've seen the Wasteland and I won't be held at gunpoint by this terrorist. I'm going to get a Polluted Delta or Underground Sea. And then I drew Polluted Delta. It's funny, I spoke it into existence. I could just flip Tamiyo here, get a Brainstorm going. That could result in me losing Force Blue card. Hydroblast isn't ideal either. I'm just going to pass. The clues are up. Double counterspells up. I don't beat just Veil of Summer action, regardless. And if their payoff's not Burning Wish, I only have 1 counterspell up anyway. But if I am gifted this turn to crack my clue, be a card deeper, play the Beanstalk with Hydroblast still available, I will take it. End step, bust a clue. Murko, eventually going to be good. Tamiyo's in. Beanstalk, let's go. Get the engine running. I'd love a Consign. Hey, there we go. I said Polluted Delta earlier and I drew it. Then I said Consign and I drew that too. Consign's great because Veil of Summer doesn't stop it. And if they win a Veil fight over my Force, they're going to feel like they could just send it, but the answer is they can't. They do play some number of Thoughtseizes in the 75 sometimes. Sometimes they have to wish for them, sometimes they just have them. We've got Galvanic Relay under Chrome Mox, 4 mana available. Song of Creation. That is a red spell. I'm going to get Underground Sea and Hydroblastless. Boom. A land is nice. Attack with Tamiyo again. I think I want to fire Murktide and just do the damn thing here. Fetch. There is a Mystic Sanctuary that can put Hydroblast on top of my deck and redraw that if I'm willing to make a 4/4. I think I'm just going to get the basic and leave that resource available. Just make the biggest creature that I can, draw a card, leave Wasteland in there. Look at this wall of interaction we're sitting on. Feels good, man. Bloodstained Mire. That looks crazy next to, like, this board. The, Moto duels that I've grown accustomed to, this insane MH3 treatment, and then this masterpiece Chrome Mox, and then this weird Moto LED. What a board state we've got. I'm not judging, I'm just saying it's quite a ride through the ages, visually. They have Besieged the Mirror. What does that do? It gets Force of Will, I guess, is what it does. Drew the card, then that's gone. That worked out well. No Veil, no follow-up, just the cards of the graveyard now. That's how I like it. Wasteland. Okay, taking them off green is pretty dope. That is a whole thing their deck does I don't have to worry about. Attack. And I can play another Murktide next turn if any spells end up in the graveyard, or I could just keep smushing. Fetching the Commercial District, 1 card in hand that we're pretty sure is not Veil of Summer. They kept the card. Uh-oh. They're just passing. Alright. Bust my clue. Bust my clue. It's loading up here. Wasteland. I love Wasteland gaming. I mean, taking them off green instead of black here might be loose, but the third Wasteland of the game feels good, regardless. Okay, cool. They've had enough. They play Carpet of Flowers sometimes. I honestly don't know what the current iteration of the Epic Storm is. I haven't checked the epicstorm.com Patreon since the grief ban. I believe my plan is still my plan. The Harbingers are the only things that are really just still floating here that could potentially have text on them. Force of Vigor could have text on it, but I'm not really interested in that. I'm very sure I don't want Force of Vigor. Whether or not I want Harbingers, TBD, and I am not going to register them this time. I may do that differently in the future. Oh no, this hand's bad. If this land came in untapped and it represents Spell Pierce and then hit my land drop, if I didn't need to Spell Pierce, I would do it, but the Hedge Maze is big punish. I will keep this one. I am obsessed with Consigned to Memory. I'm gonna bottom Misty Rainforest. Hope I don't get turn one. Bayou. Lotus Petal. With the correct amount of hesitation on each of these. Oh god, what is happening? Burning Wish. Okay. Are we gonna relay for a bunch? Are we just gonna Thoughtseize? We're gonna wait and then Thoughtseize? Veil of Summer off the top? Didn't get there. A Tropical Island Pass. I am representing Veil of Summer. They know the runway is mostly clear here, though. They can Thoughtseize me, take the Consign, and then I am sitting around waiting for something to happen. I have to brainstorm and hope it hits Force at that point. Another value Burning Wish. Getting Galvanic Relay at this point is weird. All their stuff's already in play. I am going to brainstorm now. Backup Consign, let's go. Put back Catacombs Delta. And I am just going to redraw this because I have 2 things that I might need to do. I could have shuffled that with Lorien Revealed in the upkeep. I could have played Tamiyo, I could have played Ponder, but I think just having 2 things up is the wisest thing I could do. No respect for Bowmaster, but I don't have it, so good call. A fresh Mox Opal after Brainstorm. Storm is 2. Dark Ritual, Storm is 3. Thoughtseize, Storm is 4. They're going to see 2 of the most horrifying card that I have. Veil of Summer is probably worse, but Consign is rough. Oh no! Alright. You showed me. What do I want to do about this? I could... Oh no, I cast Brainstorm. This is Ponder now. I can't do anything. Resolves. That's what I do about this. Okay, so they're going to get 6 cards off Galvanic Relay, but this is not the deterministically dead I was afraid of. Let's see what exiles. Sewers, Song, Petal, Mox, Veil, LED. I mean, that's pretty good. Instep fetch for Hedge Maze. Get any amount of selection I can here. Witherbloom command. What do you do? I have to play my land before I command. If I kill Mox Opal, they'll have 1, 2. Well, maybe. They need a card in their hand to Chrome Mox. LED makes whatever color. That's 1, 2, 3. They can cast Song of Creation. I don't think this is going to do it. I'm going to put this into my graveyard. But what am I looking for if I don't? Pernicious Deed? Yeah, this is not going to do it. I'll put it away. Got me with the cursed double Thoughtseize. Force of Will, not going to work versus this Veil of Summer. But I can fetch and ponder again. Cards I might cast. Veil of Summer still is the best one, so I should use my black mana to ponder. Wasteland, I've already made my land drop, sad. Shuffle. And I hit a Brainstorm, which is not really going to help. Song of Creation is a tough one. While the Veil of Summer supporting the Song of Creation is a tough one. LED resolves. Mox Opal from hand. Okay, glad I didn't kill that with Witherbloom command. That would have been completely wasted. They can cast Song with what they have in play, and then cast Chrome Mox, draw 2 cards, and off to the races, but they are coming from Hellbent. So if I force now, at least the Veil doesn't draw 2 cards. They're going to draw so many cards here. Okay, I'm going to force pitching Lorien Revealed. And I could Brainstorm now for the Miracle hit. All right, Brainstorm now for the Miracle hit. Find that other force. And no love. All right, well, now we just have to hope they whiff. They draw 1 card from the Veil, and then they get to draw 4 cards from Petal Chrome Mox. And we'll see what the situation looks like at the other end. The answer is probably bad, but if they whiff, they'll have no cards in hand. LED from hand. Brainstorm from hand. Bloodstain Mire. That means the Sewers isn't coming into play from exile. Dark Ritual. And this is what I meant by if you give the Epic Storm enough time to figure it out, they'll beat whatever. It's the double Thoughtseize. The one from the main deck and the one from the sideboard, taking my 2 good sides. They did that quite well. I would love to concede, but I need to see just a tutor. Literally anything here. Chrome Mox from hand. That's not even the one we know about. They still have a draw 2 in the bank with 9 cards in hand. There it goes. Exiled 2 relays to those. A 3rd Chrome Mox. And Chrome Mox is sick when it draws 2 cards. Fetched a Brainstorm, so they're clearly not digging. They played and fetched Misty Rainforest. I thought they... Oh, you could play an additional land each turn. Those are part of the words on Song. I was like, I'm pretty sure they made a land drop. Right. For those weird games where you play this card and don't win on the spot. Okay, you did it. On to the next round.
We're a few rounds into the video. Thanks for sticking with me. Friendly reminder that if you're still here and having fun, smash that subscribe button. And if you want to play what I'm playing, you can use my affiliate link for TCG Player to support the channel while you shop for cards, and you can try any deck anytime with a cardhoarder.com loan account for Magic Online. All these links are in the video description below. Now back to the league.
I'm on the draw for round 4. Going to have to mulligan this no lander. I will keep this hand with some lands in it. And I'm going to bottom Nihil Spellbomb. Or it could be Lorien Revealed. That's actually close. All right, I'm going to bottom Lorien Revealed. I don't need a blue card. I don't need a land. And I might need a Spellbomb. Field of the Dead. Fascinating. What are we doing with that? I'm just going to play Misty Rainforest and pass. Field of the Dead could just be lands, or it could be like 8 mulch. And if they play a Mana Bond this turn or Exploration, I want to be able to pierce it. More than I'm worried about fighting their Light from the Loam just yet. That's a Wasteland. Fatal Push. I can get my basics and play Baleful Strix here. I'm just not convinced that does anything. I'm going to get Basic Swamp and play Nihil Spellbomb. They're on the monocolorless plan over there. Savannah Revealed. Force of Will. I could play Strix off of a basic. I could play Beanstalk off of a non-basic. I think with Force in my hand and Witherbloom Command ready, I actually want to get the Beanstalk in, and I'm going to cast it off Bayou, because that's the one I care less about getting wastelanded, though it also doesn't cast my blue spells. I drew Brainstorm. I have missed a land drop. They saw me do that. Really depends how important their fourth land is in the bag end. That's Horizon Canopy in a normal Magic talk. Okay, they haven't wastelanded me. Why? Witherbloom Command's just going to have to mill 3 cards and drain them. Okay, I'll mill 3 cards. You lose 2 life. What a weird game. What's going on over there? Maybe their plan is to actually just play 8 lands in a row until Field of the Dead is active. Okay, I could turn on my basic island, or I did mill over a wasteland. I don't think I'm the wasteland deck here. Maybe they kept a hand on the strength of Light from the Loam and they're just farting around. There is Caracas. I think they're trying to break my brain with just these most miserable printings of every card. Fetch. I'm going to Brainstorm here. Let's try to find more mana to play the game with. Wasteland is not mana. Murktide Regent's a long way off. Edict might be fine if they make Merit Lage. Frog's going to be really good, probably. I'm going to put back Cut and Push, or Push and Cut. Cut and Push. And I'll play the Wasteland. Not in a hurry to use it. Maze of Ith. Well, their next land starts making zombies, so we have made it this far. I am going to cast Psychic Frog and pass the turn. They could have Swords to Plowshares in their hand. In the upkeep, I'm going to Wasteland Maze of Ith, because that's the one that's going to answer my Frog, and I don't want them to just hit land number 7 and do stuff. Okay, I'm going to force pitching Baleful Strix. Crop Rotation was good value off of something that's going to get wasted anyway, but Force of Will is nice to make sure the land doesn't just replace itself with another one, and then they're in the Field of the Dead, and then I'm in the garbage. Okay, can Frog take it over by itself? Also, if I draw a blue source and cast Murktide here, we're just firing on all cylinders. Fangorn Forest. Yavimaya Cradle of Growth. Okay. My brain is broken. This also means that Wasteland doesn't take me off any colors in my deck anymore. I'm going to float a black. Do I want to just Spellbomb them? I could just draw a card here, and then even if they have Loam, they don't actually get any cards back. Yeah, I'm just going to Spellbomb. I'll take the card. I play 2 of these things. I found a land, kind of. Winding Way. All right, so they are the Turbo Mulch deck. Exploration just went to the graveyard. Tabernacle, and another Wasteland found. I still have 1 Wasteland in the deck somewhere. Daze, unlikely to be useful. Psychic Frog. Do I want to push damage? I think so. I'm going to discard Fatal Push. Just go 1 extra point in here from a card that's probably not useful. That was a good find. Fetch. I guess I'll get Underground Sea because it also taps for green. And then Murktide. Draws a card. Drew a Beanstalk. All right. We got some stuff going on here. Real pressure on the board. Don't have a counterspell. Not a good one. My Wasteland plus Force last turn has kept them out of Field of the Dead. I can just mash through a Tabernacle. A Mulch. Yep, here we go. 2 Besejus and a Wood of Foothills. They do have Mana Bond. I'm dead, but they've had a million chances to cast that card and haven't done it. But they did have a draw step this turn, which is not really fair. They should have to play the game with only the cards in their first 7. All right, just busting Horizon Canopy is sick. Now Daze is somehow on. Wow, I don't really know what just happened there, but we'll take it. Their deck hit its fail rate. That's what happened there. A Force of Vigor kills Mana Bonds before they get to the end step. Pernicious Deed kills all the non-land permanents in their deck. Harbinger of the Seas seems insane, and that means I have to bring in Island as well. Consigned to Memory. I don't think that's what I want. Barragoyf is big. I think Murderous Cut and all the Fatal Pushes can come out. Edict still kills Merit Lage. Spellbomb, they are a Loam deck. Spell Pierce, Daze. Daze is going to be bad, but I do have a bunch of forces in. Witherbloom Command might be better than Daze. This kills their explorations and stuff while also wastelanding them. Baleful Strix is not good. Orcish Bowmaster is not good. There's a lot of cards that just aren't good here. If you counter the trigger that Dark Depths uses to make Merit Lage, it just triggers again. So that's not useful. I think this is what I'm going to do. And hope it works. Okay. I don't like this. I wish one of these other cards was a spell. But 8 Mulch is kind of a force check deck. Like turn 1 Mana Bond Shablamo is a thing they do. And Wasteland is kind of a spell. I think as far as terrible hands go, this one's a keep. Leyline of the Void. Okay, you got me. Savannah. Exploration. I'm just going to force that. Try to make them play fair. Ugh. I could waste them and try to keep them off the first mulch, but I think getting the Hedge Maze and having some selection is worth it. So their deck is full of tech lands that might be better hits for this one Wasteland. If I don't screw them off playing the game here, then this Wasteland would be such a mess. Okay, the full hit, Hall of Heliod, Wasteland, Thespian Stage, Forest. I have so many lands, and they're not ramping. Like, if they play Wasteland and kill my Hedge Maze, whatever, you did it. Underground Sea into the Abyss. Okay, up the Beanstalk. Just get something going here. Psychic Frog. We're gaming. If they just Wasteland me and pass the turn, that's fine. I get to play Psychic Frog. If they build out their resources, I might just sit the Wasteland and play. Or we might be dead right now. If Dark Depths is in their hand, we might lose on the spot. Oh god. This is scary. There's Dark Depths. Let's see if they make the 2020 immediately in their end step, or if I get to play my Wasteland. They should end step it, but I'm just going to hope they don't. Yep, here comes all these cards. Discarded a Leyline and a Dismember. The Merit Lage is on board. Wastelanded me. Good call. It's my upkeep. Wow, okay. We got to my Wasteland. I'm not dying to Merit Lage immediately. They're Hellbent. I'm Hellbent. I'm not Hellbent. I don't know why I said those words. They need to find a Wasteland effect to push through my Wasteland. I am looking for that to not happen. Mana Bond triggered and they decline. They don't have Loam going, which is a plus. They don't have ways to answer Frog visible, so I'll just cast this Ophidian and try to pull ahead. Fetching in the end step, or in combat. Whenever you want to is legal. Okay, they are copying... Wait, what is happening? Oh, they're slow melting. That's fine. Yep. That is a thing they can do. Yep, 9 turns from now, they can make a 2020. But the Wasteland still works. There's Bag End. I suspect they'll draw a card right away. Oh. If they find Loam, I'm in trouble. If they find Maze of Ith, I'm disappointed. Yep, there's Life from Loam, and we are deadzos. And I don't think they're going to make the mistake of forgetting to make their 2020 and forgetting I play Wasteland again. Straw Edict? Edict? Rip the Edict? Okay, they're wasting me. I'm going to waste their Thespian Stage in response. I have 1 out here. And I can't even jump the Frog to block because of Leyline. Did I board in any other outs? I don't remember. Ponder. Witherbloom Command. My life total is too low for that to work. This is just going to be a shuffle. And Psychic Frog. GG. Okay, they gave me a turn they didn't need to, but still didn't go my way. I guess Baleful Strix could have blocked. No, they had Beseiju looping. That didn't even do it. Okay, definitely did not get ahead of them where I needed to that game. Mana Bond is a trigger. That's interesting. End step, zap the Mana Bond, and that doesn't seem like a real plan. I'm just gonna submit my deck again. I mostly like this. A little slow. I'm gonna fail the force check, but I like getting Tamiyo going. I like that I have access to basics. Tamiyo can become a planeswalker immediately. I have exactly access to my 3 basics, and those 3 basics cast the fish. Exploration resolves. Fangorn Forest. Oh, Mana Bond. Alright. 4 cards left. Are they in the full shotgun blast? Am I facing Merit Lage on turn 1? Not quite, but they do have Loam in the graveyard. Their whole engine is online here. I'll Spell Bomb? Alright, I'm gonna attack with Tamiyo and then Brainstorm. And see if I could come up with Spellbomb before they can get this loam poppin'. Brainstorm. None of these cards are even heckin' close to something that would be helpful. Plus Tamiyo. I'm going to play Polluted Delta in case I need to get my basic. I don't know why that would be true, but I can get my basic or my Hedge Maze here. They're going to slow melt their depths. And they are dredging loam. They're kind of drawing 3 cards a turn here. Or they're drawing however many lands they mill over per turn. This is a powerful engine, but they're not actually doing anything yet. Like, these are just the lands that they had. There's no Wasteland here, so I'm not getting Waste-locked. There's no... And they have the Dark Depths, but not the stage. That's not the scary half. I will take Ponder. There's just more cards I can look at. Ponder. Looking for the fish or the Spellbomb. Pernicious Deed. That is like a someday solution. That stops the mana bond. They're still loaming, though. This doesn't do anything. I'm going to shuffle. Witherbloom Command. Okay. It has just occurred to me that Witherbloom Command doesn't do anything. Because they have the Hall of Heliod. I guess I'll just cast Baleful Strix and draw a card. Looking for the fish or the Graveyard Hate before they loam into something useful. Plus Tamiyo. Also, Tamiyo goes infinite 2 turns from now. If I just fade a couple draws. Melting the Depths. Fetching no Surveil land. Okay. They did get Basic Forest, though. Planning ahead for my Fish Moon. Tabernacle, Bajuka Bog. And Bajuka Bog is whatever. Tabernacle, slightly annoying. But only slightly, honestly. I just don't pay for Baleful Strix. It doesn't even matter. Strix does buy me a turn versus Parrot Lage if they make it, though. Is that worth 1 mana to me? I don't think so. Maybe. What else am I spending this mana on? I'm spending this mana on Brainstorm into Harbinger of the Seas. That's what I'm spending the mana on. A Brainstorm. Find that Harbinger. Find that fish. Not a fish. Force of Will. No Wasteland. I guess if they put Mana Bond back on top of their deck, but they have Mana Bond and Exploration. Those are both good enough with Loam. Yeah, this is not working. I can put back Bayou and Witherbloom Command. Play this Misty Rainforest. Fetch. Get Basic Island. Activate the Clue. Could still be an Isle Spellbomb right now. Nope. Well, plus Tamiyo, and you're in check. I draw half my deck next turn, which is a lot more than them drawing 3 cards this turn. And from there, hopefully we can figure out how to win. And I can Force of Will Life from the Loam if I need to buy a turn. Like if they do mill over the Thespian stage here. And they didn't. They milled 3 non-lands. That was just a full time walk, and Tamiyo's going to bust. Then I have to figure out how to inflict 18 damage before they run me out of cards, which is its own problem. I guess I just play the fish and back it up with counter spells for the rest of the game, and they're not going to be able to win. No, I'm fine. Okay. Mana Bond triggers. Go to my turn. Psychic Frog. That is also going to attack for 20 next turn. Draw cards equal to my deck, and I have no hand size for the rest of the game. How about Harbinger of the Seas? I should probably think about this just for a second, make sure I sequence correctly, and get my threats into play. I can play Underground Sea, and then I get to double spell this turn. All right, Underground Sea, black, blue, Psychic Frog, Harbinger. Now your stuff doesn't work. Handful of Force of Wills. We got the GG in the chat. Okay, yeah, Tamiyo plus. Eventually, you draw half your deck and you win somehow. They had their whole engine. This was a great start for them, and then they had, what was that, 9 or 12 looks at the other half of the combo, and it didn't come together. Let's go, final round. I am on the play for the final round. I'm going to do Tropical Island Tamiyo with the plan of playing up the Beanstalk on the following turn. My hand is fine versus creatures. Okay, maybe not that creature. Interesting. I don't think I'm going to sandbag a fetch land just to keep Fatal Push on compared to actually adding to the board. but this is going to be a concerning and challenging matchup. They mull to 6 and have Devour, so they have kind of a 5-card hand right now. The Devourer does eventually unlock. You can't just pretend that's not there when they reveal it at the start of the game. They exiled Wasteland and 2 Myco spawns. That's 3 pieces of mana denial in exile to start the game. I like that. Just let me cast my spells and we could get along. Or just play another Wasteland and a Once Upon a Time. So they had no idea what their hand did when they kept it. It was Devour of Destiny, Once Upon a Time, C9 cards, maybe things work. I'm not even that devastated if they Wasteland me right now. I'd rather get Beanstalk in, but if they just fire it, I am on board here. I do play lands in my deck. It's ugly, but I am going to play Mystic Sanctuary tapped. That's my best chance to move the game forward next turn. Like the Brainstorm gets turned on, and if they Wasteland me again here, that is 3 of their 4 Wastelands gone already. Blast Zone. Brainstorm. An attack with Tamiyo, and I can Brainstorm now, try to get something going. That also gets Tamiyo ticking up. I am just going to make that happen. Put back... This Murktide is exciting if I could shove it. If I put back Beanstalk Tamiyo, I can mill away the other Tamiyo. Alright, put back Beanstalk Tamiyo. This Tamiyo flips. Hedge Maze, mill the other Tamiyo. Plus this one, and I have Fetchland Fatal Push ready. Murktide Regent I can deploy next turn as a 4/4. Eldrazi Temple. They can play a 3-drop or more if they have a Spirit Guide. Chalice on 1. Alright. I'm done casting 1-drops for the most part. Plus Tamiyo. And, I mean, now that this has happened, I could hold on to Brainstorm in case I find a Witherbloom command. Or I could just cast it into the Chalice to make Murktide bigger. I'm going to do that. It's kind of their quintessential creatures are 4/4s. So if I can get a 5/5 instead of a 4/4 into play, I think that is meaningfully different. Here's the Cavern they've been sandbagging. Myco Spawn. Okay, so they exiled 2 Myco Spawns in a Wasteland from their opening hand and then played Wasteland Myco Spawn. This is a lot of those. I think their deck is just 30 of each. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Drawing Wasteland here would be pretty nice. Ponder. I cannot cast that card. I can up the Beanstalk, which is, I believe, much better than cracking a Clue. And now I have to crack a Clue if I'm going to do anything. Plus Tamiyo. I think leaving back Murktide as a blocker to protect Tamiyo is a better situation here. If they have the mana source for the Devourer, they get to kill Murktide anyway, but I should at least make them have it. Bummer. They always have it. Their deck is just all mana and sowing Myco Spawns and Wastelands. 20 of each. 20 Eldrazi Temples, 20 Myco Spawns, 20 Wastelands. That's what I'm playing against right now. They could, of course, just kill Tamiyo. Alright, yeah, they're skipping the middle Planeswalker here. Or middle Dragon here. Now I feel silly for not attacking. I'm not even convinced that was right, though, because they can Blast Zone the Tamiyo, and the Murktide is still hanging out. Baleful Strix, that card's so good. Up the Beanstalk. Bayou. Strix. Does this have Secret Reach? No, these cards don't have Secret Reach. Alright, well, you're at 15. You should be at 10. Go. They're pretty far away from activating Ayavugan. Eldrazi Temple doesn't feed into that. I can still Force of Will things just to cycle. I have 2 Beanstalks in play, and my hand is Force of Will versus Cavern of Souls and 3 1-drops versus Chalice of the Void. I could just use the Irrelevant Force and the uncastable ones. I kind of want to see what they tutor here, though, because if they double spell... Alright, getting a second Cavern makes this largely irrelevant. I'm going to force this pitching a Ponder and just draw 2 cards. Spell Pierce, Delta. Alright. I didn't draw a Daze to save my Hedge Maze with. Not Seer. Have a look. Yeah, my hand sucks. Enjoy that. And Wasteland number 4. Or is it number 3? I don't know. I've lost track. Another Wasteland. Okay, my good draws are probably like Murktide Regent. Trade with the 6/6. Yeah, Murktide growing the other Murktide and also just being big. Sometimes you have it. Okay, fetch with Polluted Delta. Get basic island. Fire this Brainstorm into the void. You know what that means, opponent? Remember when you just looked at my hand? I don't. Draw 2 big Murktides. Fatal Push. Another Murktide. Keep them coming. Attack. You're at 3. If I had attacked right previously. I don't know. I think it was right for them to boop the Murktide on this, not the Tamiyo. But the fact that the game played out the way it is and them not being dead sucks. They are down to 2 cards, though. Generic creatures don't matter. Sowing Myco spawns don't matter unless they play a Maze of Ith, which they usually don't. And I have them dead on board, and I have the biggest creature in play, and the second biggest creature in play, and the next biggest creature in my hand. Mana's being tapped. A lot of mana's being tapped. Yikes. Kozilek's Command X for 7. They scry 7, draw a card, exile Murktide Regent. Would have been nice to have. Oh no, I can't spell Pierce. Anyway, with Chalice up. I didn't mistap, it just wasn't there. I think I should Fatal Push in the end step. Just have a spell in my graveyard to feed the next Murktide. If I draw a fetch land, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, that's 6. Put them to 2. I don't feel like the scry 7, 2 top, 5 bottom. All right, yeah, that's probably good for them. Didn't delete a Myco spawn. I didn't push in the end step. Mostly forgot. But it wouldn't have got there. Okay, activate the clue. Found a fetch land. This is 10. If they find another 3 damage, they win. The Lord, if they play Herald, that is actually just 3 damage on board immediately. I don't think I can afford to stop attacking and hope that's not the case. Pass the turn. They did select both of the cards they have in their hand right now. A Devourer of Destiny gets it. A Herald gets it. Thought Not Seer. Okay. Well, I'm not going to fire into that. This Force of Will would have been good last turn. They took the Force. Uh-oh. Okay, and they had Herald. That was uncounterable anyway? Or no, it wasn't. But yeah, it was. No, it wasn't. Interesting. Okay, so they actually did need those 2 things. All right, you got me. Yeah, so Herald, you can't spend Chalice mana on if you have Ayavugan. Yeah, wow. Okay. Cool. We're learning. A Deed, Harbingers, Consign, Basic Land, Witherbloom Command, Dismember, Barrowgoyf. Daze pretty bad. Nile Spellbomb doesn't matter. Orcish Bowmaster's not good either. Spell Pierce, not great. Tamiyo is what kept me in that game. I like Wasteland. And this might be one of the matchups where you shave a Beanstalk because it's too slow. That's good. 1 more card has to go here. I could cut the Mystic Sanctuary. I like my Wastelands. I like my Lorians. I like my Forces. Maybe it just is a Tamiyo. Okay, let's try this. Keep all my basics and a path to Harbinger. Ponder. Another Force. Let's go. Okay, Force of Will to my hand. Fatal Push on top. So I can fetch Basic Swamp and Fatal Push off that swamp next turn if I need to do those things. Herald. I can just push that. That's fine. And I am going to push it right away. Just get it out. Don't want to see it. Never want to talk about it again. If they have Cavern this turn, it can cast 3 drops. They have green in the pool for an Eldrazi spell. Fleshraker could break them out of the moon. Did I need to worry about Herald? Did I just spaz it off? Maybe I did. I'm going to fetch for Tropical Island because it doesn't matter. It's still just an island. But if they kill my creature, I would like access to green. Now, if they just cast something like Lotus Petal, it makes a spawn, and then that spawn treads water above the Harbinger forever. Yo. All right. Just the best card I could draw. I'm not going to play these lands. They're better as frog fodder. I'll block so fast if they attack. That's what I thought, coward. Oh, sick. Attack with the frog. I am going to discard Bayou to get the clock going a little faster. Ponder. Murktide Barrowgoyf. All right, Barrow coming in. Right in the barrel. A barrel and a barrow are different things. It's just fun to me to think about this as a barrel with teeth. Like a Dungeons and Dragons object. Okay, that game went more my speed. Even though I did spew off that fatal push in a way that didn't really matter. Okay, submit my deck. Hope it works out that well on the draw. Bad start. Gonna mulligan. This is not great follow-up, but I will keep it, and I think I get rid of one of the forces here. I need the Lorien. Probably fetch land is the thing I'm most interested in drawing right now. Cavern revealed off Once Upon a Time. Tough start. My Force of Will hand. Fetch land or basic land are things I'm interested in right now. Murktide Regent wasn't on the list, but there it is. Wasteland. Zapping it off. Cycle Lorien for a trop. Lotus Petal suddenly. Dismember. Okay, I have Dismember and Brainstorm that I can cast with the cards that I have currently. If they have the double Wasteland again, I'm bummed out. If they have a Eldrazi land into Sowing Mycospawn Tutoring Wasteland this turn, I probably lose. Shit. Yep, green Eldrazi mana in the pool. They changed their mind. Come on, just do it. Just kill me. Thought Not Seer. Okay, I'm less worried about this one. I can dismember this with its trigger on the stack. And then they get to take my best card, but they don't get to take a land if I draw one. Okay. They might take Brainstorm here to try to stop me from hitting a land, or they might take Psychic Frog as the scariest thing if I do draw a land. And they did go with Frog over Brainstorm. A lot of respect for that one. And they did not bet correctly. But it was still a good bet. I didn't bet correctly either. Look at this disaster that is unfolding in front of me. Up the Beanstalk, Consign to Memory, back. Mystic Sanctuary, tapped, pass. Ayavugan. White mana in the pool. Change their mind. Herald. I mean, literally can't force anything else, so let's get rid of that. Now I could get this up the Beanstalk in. I think I need to take a risk and get things pumping here. Consign doesn't counter the actual creature body anyway on the things. And I know my next card was a second Beanstalk. If I can unlock a... Okay, this does what? Exile target artifact or enchantment, sure. Already drew a card, that's fine. City of Traders, 2 cards left over there. If I can unlock a black source, that would be great. Okay, I'm going to Brainstorm rather than tap out. Found the black source. Now we can do stuff. Put back. Okay, how am I doing this? Probably put back Fatal Push and up the Beanstalk. Fatal Push, up the Beanstalk. Swamp. Now I'm ready. I can defeat large creatures. They played a Cavern that immediately kills their own City of Traders, which they did not float mana off of, so they must not have a spell to cast in their hand. And I'm going to take 2 from this, but then Edict it in the end step. Because the Edict does not kill anything else if that's in play anyway. And I'm going to go for up the Beanstalk. I was supposed to leave... No, I was not supposed to leave up blue. I was supposed to leave up black, and I did. Okay, I did that correctly. I need to hope to fade some good draw steps from them. If they cast Sowing Mycospawn with Kicker, I am a disaster. Okay, well, that's sequenced in the worst way. Because that's a cast trigger, I can't even kill that and draw a card. I can Fatal Push it, though. And I know my top card, right? Oh, I didn't know that, but I don't hate it. Okay, target player mills 3, target player drains 2. You're going to mill 3, and you're going to lose 2. Green-black, this picks up my Underground Sea. I'm milling them because my graveyard is already stocked. Okay, pick up Underground Sea. Unfortunately, I just milled Lotus Petal, Cavern of Souls, Ayavugan off their deck, which was basically, I just moved them forward 3 turns. I am trying to play this Barrogoyf on a turn where I have Consigned to Memory up. That's what I'm trying to make happen here. It looks like they're just doing a command for 2 in the end step. Make 2 spawns, scry 2, draw a card. That's fine. That is the card I was trying to navigate around because I didn't want my Goyf exiled. Oh god. Well, this was a good turn to have Consign available. Consign to Memory with Replicate. Replicate it 1 time. Counter both of the triggers that come off this thing. You still get the 3/3 body, but that's the part of this I'm least upset about right now. And can Barrow-Goyf carry? I guess I might as well ponder here. Ooh, Wasteland. Force of Will, not helpful. Misty Rainforest, the next best thing here. Wasteland, take out Eldrazi Temple. Then play the Big Barrow. Unfortunately, they just have so much mana with the spawns laying around that if they've been holding a Kozilek's Command this long, it's going to work. That Myco spawn was too good. Flushed out my interaction. Something's happening. Nope, they're not happening. They're back. This is an Eldrazi creature. Devour, exile, shit. Okay. That does make sense as a thing they would have sandbagged this long. I'm drawing Misty Rainforest. I can Murderous Cut the Devourer. And I'm going to have to. They're still casting spells. Maybe someday they'll stop. Glaring Fleshraker, hate that. I'm going to look with Hedge Maze at what my top card is. Ponder, I'll keep that. And Devourer, slice it. I wish I had another Barrow-Goyf. Ponder, Murktide Regent would do. Pernicious Deed. Oh, that's so close to a card I want. But it doesn't kill their things this turn. Before I can even activate the deed, I'll be at 3. And if they cast a spell this turn, Fleshraker might put me to 2 or 1. I gotta shuffle this. Sorry, deed. Shuffle, Murktide. Okay. I guess we're dead. Yeah, Eldrazi is really tough. The Blood Moon Merfolk and the Consigns are really good, but their mana denial is good, and if they Myco spawn you, you're just so in trouble. And now I don't even win if I draw. All right, yep. Okay. Yeah, that was tough. Cavern of Souls, MVP. A 2-3 final record with Bug Beans. It definitely felt like we were kind of hoping for the right cards to show up a lot, which I don't really like. The appeal of the old Bug Beans deck a year ago is that you had a bunch of different things that were slightly useful in a bunch of different places. And now we have to build the deck in ways that are like 4 Fatal Push. There wasn't 4 of almost any card in the deck. It was like Beanstalk, Brainstorm, Ponder were the 4 ofs in the deck last year, Force of Will, not Fatal Push. All of our utility spells like this were spread across a bunch of different options. And if you're in a matchup where these 4 Fatal Pushes aren't good, that's a lot of bad cards. 3 days, that's more than I was playing last year. If you're in a matchup where days is bad, sucks to suck. We still did the thing a bunch of times, just stick a Beanstalk or 2, get control of everything. Your opponent has no cards, and you have 7 cards in hand, and you're attacking for 1 a turn. That stuff rules. I did feel like Psychic Frog was a good role player in this deck. I played a 4-color Bean deck last week where I just felt like Psychic Frog was the best part of the deck, and I always wanted to draw it, and why are we even playing this deck if Psychic Frog is the best thing I could be doing in it? But I didn't feel that way here. I was happy to see Frog frequently, and other times Frog was whatever, and I was happy to see other cards. Tamiya was great. Obviously, it's just one match, and there's a lot of ways you can customize this deck, but this did feel kind of underwhelming compared to the other things that I've done in the format, like the dedicated Psychic Frog deck or the dedicated anti-frog decks, like the Jeskai Wrath of the Skies decks. We are neither a dedicated frog deck nor a dedicated Kill the Frog deck. We are just kind of a deck that can do some of each of those things, and I'm not sure if that's what the format's about right now. But I'm glad this deck does exist in some form. Spunky, thank you for sharing this with us. Everyone, thanks for watching. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, check out the Patreon, and I'll see you next time.